Earth shares a commonality with Mars, megalithic structures and 19.5 degrees. In the year 1976, one of two Viking spacecraft took images of the Cydonia region on Mars. When looking at the Cydonia region, you will notice a crater on the right next to the cliff, and a mound called THOTH'S below it. The angle between the two lines drawn that connect the crater, mound, and the cliff is 19.5 degrees. On the left, there is a collection of structures that make up the city. There is also a face to the right of the city and a D&M pyramid below it. There is a crater seen on the right side of this map, with a mound called Silbury Hill to the south. On a show called Sightings, hosted by Tim White, David Percy made it known that the crater in Avebury is a copy of the crater on Mars, and Silbury Hill is a copy of THOTH'S. If you pan from the upper left of this image to the right, you will see a double row of trees. Your focus should be on the field to the left. In this aerial photo, you will see the row of trees in the center. The cliff has eroded quite a bit, but can still be seen to the left of those trees. Superimposing a survey map of Avebury over the Cydonia region, you can see they match. Washington, D.C. is outlined by markers like this one. The northern corner is at 39 degrees. 39 divided by 2 is 19.5. Union Station represents the crater on Mars, and the Capitol building represents THOTH'S. The angle between North Capitol Street northwest and Delaware Street northeast is 19.5 degrees. There are two roads that lead to the center of the Capitol building: Pennsylvania Avenue northwest and Maryland Avenue southwest. The angle between them is 39 degrees. 39 divided by 2 is 19.5. Theodore Roosevelt Island is located on the Potomac River. Notice the red brick checkerboard layout? There are 38 red squares. Where is the 39th? Comparing the two fountains, you will notice the one on the right is red. Tips of two tetrahedrons point to 19.5 degrees. The red storm on Jupiter is at 19.5 degrees. Neptune has one too at 19.5 degrees. Sun flares appear at 19.5 degrees. Kilauea volcano is at 19.5 degrees. Olympus Mons on Mars is at 19.5 degrees. The structures that make up the city on Mars are a copy of the Pleiades constellation, as above, so below. The pyramids of Giza represent the belt of Orion, but there is something most people are unaware of. If you account for precession, all super high-rise pyramids are at approximately 19.5 degrees, including the Great Pyramid. When lines are drawn, one realizes Giza is an engineer's schematic of the solar system. The young man in this picture is trying to show you that history is not what we have been led to believe. We were lied to. In the early 1990s, I was watching a show on the television. At the end of the show, a map was displayed momentarily. I kept it all these years because I knew it was significant. The map is of New York and shows certain buildings in the same layout as the Leo constellation. I made a much larger version that is much easier to see. If you have seen a television show called The Big Bang Theory, then you already know who built the pyramids. It's no secret, the truth is right before your eyes. When the singers say, "We built the pyramids," the video purposefully slows to place emphasis on the Illuminati pyramid. If people in the consortium studied, they would learn the 10th Sumerian tablet says the Anunnaki built the pyramids.
Our whole universe was in a hot, dense once state that nearly 14 billion years ago expansion started. Wait, the earth began to cool, the autotrophs began to drool, Neanderthals developed tools, we built a wall. We built the pyramids. Math, science, history, unraveling the mystery that all started with a big bang.
The Orthodox. The Church has always preached the Orthodox interpretation of the Bible. That interpretation specifically reflects the God of the Old Testament is the Holy Trinity, which includes the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, and the serpent is the devil. The Orthodox interpretation does not explain why the Holy Trinity lied with regards to the forbidden knowledge. This is discussed in a video I produced entitled The Forbidden Knowledge, a Revelation to Adam. When analyzed, the Orthodox interpretation of the Bible does not stand. The Orthodox interpretation of the King James Bible does not account for the pyramids on Mars, the alignment of the Pleiades constellation with the city on Mars, and 19.5 degrees found in Avebury, England, Cydonia, Mars, and Washington, D.C. that all support the Anunnaki story written in cuneiform. Based on all the evidence presented, the King James Bible must account for it, or it is wrong. The characters in the King James Bible are not who Christians were led to believe. I am not saying the King James Bible is wrong, I am saying the names are different. The God of the Old Testament, for example, is Enlil, and his half-brother is Enki, the serpent. Enki was demonized by his half-brother. In other words, evil took on the image of God and deceived the world. Christian pastors are like tumbling dominoes. They have been unknowingly lying to other pastors all through history, and all those pastors unknowingly lie to everyone else in their congregation. Revelation chapter 12 verse 9 and 2 Cor 4:4 reflect this. This is a horror they will have to come to terms with. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 4, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not. The act of blinding somebody is bestowing lies upon people, making them teach or preach those lies to future generations. In other words, the human race was lied to sometime in history. I expose the initial lie and the source in a video entitled The Forbidden Knowledge, a Revelation to Adam. The truth cannot be any more obvious than it already is. Karma has caught up to all those who mocked and denied the work of Zecharia Sitchin. All of this information proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the story of the Anunnaki told by the ancient Sumerian cuneiform tablets is what the translations truly reflect. Those tablets say the Anunnaki came to Earth on a mining expedition. The work was difficult. Their working class complained. They needed a solution. A worker, slave, was needed. The atom was created. The gold they mined was offloaded from Earth to Mars before it was taken back to Nibiru, their home planet. There are two factions of the Anunnaki, one good, the other evil. The two are at war, and we are rapidly approaching the end. Please like and subscribe if you want to encourage me to make more videos.